Hey everyone, welcome to What Happened Here. This is a digital storytelling class. It's going to be short, it's going to be sweet. We have 2.5 weeks. We're going to be making our very own digital story, and you'll hear more about that here. So the first class we did was called Session 0, Class Intro. We did this on Tuesday morning, so if you missed it, you're probably watching this video. Here's what we did. Our objectives today are threefold. Figure out how class is structured, figure out what our final project is, and then the last thing is to figure out and understand what the self-paced and the mastery-based grading is all about. I'll explain that in a minute. So every class, I'll have this as our opening slide. Our essential question today is basically, what is this class about and how will it work? And here's our agenda for the day. We're going to start class with the same three things every single day, live and together. We're going to do a daily check-in. You're going to do your author's journal. And in there, you're going to do a warm-up and a digital story. So let me show you those things. The first thing is your daily check-in. This is a super simple Google form that I'm going to ask you to complete at the beginning of every class. It just asks a few things like your name and the date and how you're feeling. It helps me understand where you're at. And then down below, it asks you, where are you at? What lesson are you on? So that should be a pretty simple question to answer. If you don't know, you can click on this link right here that will take you to a spreadsheet that tells you exactly where you're at. Then it's going to ask you, are you ahead, on pace, or behind pace? What's your goal for today? And what's a strategy that's going to help you accomplish that goal? So that's like the first few minutes, super quick. Same thing every class. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a warm-up question that we're going to write on, and we are going to discuss. So usually it's pretty fun and light and simple. It's just about building community and getting to know each other. Let me show you where you find that. So if you go to Google Classroom, you'll go over to the classwork tab, and your author's notebook will be right here. When you click on it, it'll make a copy for you, and then that's going to be your notebook for the whole class. It looks like this, and there's some directions, but basically, it's going to be kind of a living document for you to do all your warm-ups and your reflections in. You never want to turn this in. If you do accidentally turn it in, just click on submit so it stays in your hands and then you're able to type on it. Sometimes when you turn it in, it locks the document for you, and we just don't want that. So basically, every day we have class, your warm-up response will go here. And then following that, every day, we'll also watch a digital story. And your response to the digital story will go here. So basically what we're doing is we're going to be making our own digital stories. And to get really good at that, we want to watch and observe and learn from other storytellers. So every day we'll watch a very short story. They're going to be different. They're all going to be unique. And then what you want to do is write a quick 3 to 5 sentence reflection on that story. So you can use these sentence stems here. The criteria for success is basically you've reflected on the video, it's 3 sentences or more, and you have like high school level punctuation, capitals and punctuation. So it's pretty straightforward. There's our author's notebook. Here's the story, our digital story that we did today. It's going to be right here in the slide if you click to play. Then we did a little bit about me. I told students about my family, and I'll do this really quick. But basically, I live right here in Denver. I live in 5 Points right next to school, basically about 10 blocks from school. I've got 2 little girls. Bernie is mine. If you've been to school, you know she comes to school with us. But basically, this is what my family is all about, and this is what I do. We like to go outside, hike, hang out with our family. Harris learned to ride a bike. My oldest daughter learned to ride a bike this summer, which was exciting. We like to ride bikes. I did some projects this summer. This is us planting our garden and building a compost bin. There's our garden. Doing a bunch of learning. I'm working on my principal licensure this year. And then we did a little road trip. We drove to Montana, stayed in the middle of nowhere, drove up to Washington, hung out on the coast and the beach a little bit. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. Now, what I would love is I want to hear about you. So if you click here, or if you go to Google Classroom and you click on the About Me, It's an editable slide deck. And basically what I'd love for you to do is to create your own slide about yourself. So here's kind of the instructions. Here's a model that I made. And you can even see other students' work. But just take a few minutes and share a little bit about who you are, knowing that the class will see that. So share the things you want to share. Next, we talked a little bit about class norms. Basically, to do class and be effective together, we're going to need to do these 4 things. Be here, be present. We're only doing live class for like a pretty short time. So when we're live and together, I need you here. I need you to participate fully. I need you to communicate your needs. If something's not working for you or if you need something different, let me know. And then the last thing is just do your best. These norms are specific to Zoom. First thing is, if you feel comfortable, please have your video on. I don't like talking to black squares. I love talking to people. So it feels more like I'm talking to people if your video's on. Another thing is be responsive. If I ask a question, reply in the chat or with a Zoom button. If you go away for a break, just put the, there's like a little coffee cup icon. Click that coffee cup icon, and then it just indicates to me that you're like not going to be at your computer for a few minutes, and that's okay. So the big thing is like Zooming and doing remote class is hard for all of us. So take care of yourself, do your best, but also like do what you need, communicate your needs. So like even in the middle of class, if you got to take a break, and that's okay. If you need to get in touch with me, here's my contact info. Also on the front page of Classroom, there's a bunch of other options, other ways you can get in touch with me. Easiest is to come to class and ask questions. You can also email me, call me, or text me. You can even message me on Google Classroom, like right here. Those are all great ways to get in touch. Okay, we're almost done. The other thing I wanted to do is add a quick survey for you that just kind of tells me, asks a few questions about what's your technology situation? Like, are there any barriers to technology for you? And then who to get in touch with in your family to communicate your progress. So tell me who it is and their name and the language they prefer, and if I should text or call or email. Just, there's a bunch of questions like that. And then here's how this class is going to work. This is our other big objective. So like I said, our daily routine is going to be these things live. Every single class we're going to do this. We're going to do the check-in. We're going to have a warm-up question. We're going to talk about it. And then we're going to watch a digital story in the effort to learn from it. Then we'll have some like announcements and housekeeping. If there's anything I need to tell the class, show example work or anything like that, I'll do that. Then we're going to break out into independent time. And the way it's going to work is that our lessons are all going to be instructionally, they're going to be instructional videos. So I'm not going to do much live teaching. If I'm talking to you, I'm going to be checking in with you, supporting you. I'm not going to be teaching you something new because I don't like to repeat myself. And if I make a good instructional video, that stands alone and you can access that anytime. You don't need me to learn. You don't need to be at class the day that we're learning that material. You can learn that material anytime you want. So the big thing about our model and what you'll be doing during instructional time is you'll be using instructional videos, then practicing those skills and applying them. Another big unique feature of our class is it's going to be self-guided. You're going to work at your own pace. Instead of me setting the pace that I think is best for everyone, and some students being bored because it's moving too slow, and some students being overwhelmed because it's moving too fast, you work at your own pace. So you can see this pacing tracker. This is also in Google Classroom under important info. But basically, it's going to be a public tracker that shows everyone's work. And basically, when you complete a lesson, just give me a heads up, and I'll take a look at it, and then I'll mark it as complete. And we're just going to go right across the row. We're going to knock off sessions one by one, and it's all going to build to our final project, which is your own unique digital story. The last thing is every lesson will end with a mastery check. So just because you like sat through the lesson doesn't mean you get it. I need to know, you need to prove that you got it. So that's what the mastery check is all about. It's usually a short quiz or some step in your digital story to prove that you've applied the lesson, the learnings from the lesson. And if you can't pass the mastery check, you don't move on to the next lesson. So this is a way to ensure that you've like learned the skills and you can apply the skills. So here's an example. The mastery check for our class has this image because if our example is I'm teaching you to shoot free throws, I could teach you a thorough, beautiful lesson on how to shoot a free throw, how to set your feet, how to grip the ball, how to aim your shot, how to follow through. But if you can't shoot a free throw, the learning hasn't landed. So I need to know that the learning landed. So the mastery check for today is right here. All you need to do is click right here and you can get to it. It'll take you right to a Google form. Since this class wasn't exactly like academic learning, a lot of it is just like some checks to make sure you were with me. So complete that Google form as your mastery check, and then that tells me like you have completed session 0. The last thing I wanted to go over is just like why tell stories? Like why did I choose to teach this class about storytelling? And there's 2 quotes that really stuck out to me. Storytelling is how culture lives. It's how information is passed between generations and how messages are relayed. And I really like this quote from Sue Monk Kidd. Stories have to be told or they die, and when they die, we can't remember who we are or why we're here. So stories give us purpose, they give us motivation, they kind of like frame things, and if you think about it, people tell stories for a reason. People don't tell stories about like the boring, mundane things in their life. If you're telling a story, it's important to you. Whether it's exciting or sad or heart-wrenching or uplifting, like the reason we tell stories is not just like the day-to-day. Another quote that I really love is this one from Robin Moore. Inside each of us is a natural born storyteller waiting to be released. So we probably all have someone in our mind who's like an excellent and gregarious storyteller. And we may not always identify as that person, but we're all skilled and gifted storytellers. And we're going to work on developing those skills here in this class. So that's session 1 in a nutshell. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow morning. That's Wednesday morning. We'll be doing session 2. I'll give you a quick overview and then you can go back and do whatever you need to do.